welcome to episode 33 of Star Wars Tabletop Gaming. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about two new future releases that we've been previewed from FFG for Star Wars Legion. We will be looking at the Emperor Palpatine Commander expansion and, most excitingly for me, the Imperial Royal Guard's unit expansion. I am super pumped for both of these units, and I'm sure a lot of people who were on the fence about Rebel or Imperial, this has really pushed them over, because these are two awesome units that look fantastic and do some really cool stuff on the table. So, first up, let's look at the Emperor Palpatine Commander expansion. Let's have a good look at his card. So, he is 210 points. He has 3 Force slots, and one, I'm not sure what it's called a leadership kind of slot, essentially where you can put something like esteemed leader, which is very nice, seeing as we can't put that on Vader. Take note. So, he is 210 points, extremely expensive. That's over a quarter of your army, but whatever, he does some cool stuff. First up, he is ruler of the Galactic Empire. And for card text, he has an action called Pulling the Strings. Choose a friendly troop unit at range 1 to 2. That unit may perform a free attack action or a free move action, I should say. Now, this is going to be okay, I guess, with some stormtroopers or regular trooper units that are just running around and capturing objectives. Useful, it doesn't limit you to just an attack, but where it gets really spicy is when you team them up either with some Royal Guards who are doing some sweet melee attacks, or maybe some Scout Troopers who are putting out a ridiculous amount of dice if they manage to get within range 1 or 2 of something. The ability for a unit to attack twice is awesome. And for him to get a unit to attack and then perform an attack himself, extremely efficient, and a lot of damage can be put out if you get him within range kind of the enemy, and we'll talk about that soon. Next up is Entourage Imperial Royal Guards. While building an army, ignore the rank of one Imperial Royal Guard unit. And during the command phase, you may issue an order to a friendly Imperial Royal Guards unit at range 1 to 2. Now, the first part of this rule I don't think we'll see used very often. It's very rare that I think people are going to use 4 Special Forces units. Frankly, I'd just be impressed. Noting, of course, they are, they could be troopers. All the ones we've seen at the moment are troopers, so they are capturing objectives. But they're expensive, right? So having 4 Special Forces units really going to limit the amount of activations you're getting with your army. So I don't think that's that exciting, but the ability to give a Royal Guards, interesting, yes, is their unit at range 1 to 2, to give them a free order every single turn is that's really nice. So when you take Palpatine, you are definitely going to want to take a Royal Guard unit, 100%, and keep it nice and close so they get their free order every single turn. He is also immune to Pierce, which is very nice. Luke and Vader aren't going to jump in and just slice him up. He is Master of the Force 2. That's really cool. So if he has 2 Force powers that exhaust, he can bring them back every single turn. So you're going to want to load this guy up. He's probably at this point going to be about 240 points. That's fine, right? That's fine. He does cool stuff. He has a red defense dice, which is great to see, with an offensive surge to crits and a defensive surge to blocks. So very defensive. He can take a whole bunch of hits, which is nice. He has 5 health, not a huge amount, but it's pretty stock standard. What he does have is 4 courage, which is out of control. That is so much courage. And we'll see a really cool little interaction where that courage is going to come in super handy. He only moves at speed 1. Oh, come on. It just sucks. Moving at speed 1 sucks, right? Especially when, unlike Vader, he can't move and do a free attack. This, I think, is a real limiting factor on Emperor Palpatine, and while I think is going to be a whole bunch of fun to play, this speed 1 move without, that steady ability, the ability to do a free attack after moving, I think is going to be super limiting for him. So especially because his attack is range 1 to 2, right? So until we find a way to get him across the board relatively protected, because he's got a great defense, but he's a little bit squishy, that's going to hurt. Well, we'll see how that plays out. Can't wait to get him on the board and try it out. But what he does have is this ridiculous attack called Force Lightning. It is either melee or range 1 to 2, which is very, very nice. It has Pierce 2, beautiful, and Suppressive, which is a nice little bonus. Why not? It has the same dice as an AT-ST main cannon. That is 2 red, 2 black, and 2 white. So it's super powerful. But the best thing about his attack is that Palpatine can get into the middle of the enemy forces and just go nuts. He gets in there, he's surrounded by rebel troopers, he pulls his 1-pip command card out and screams, "And now you will die." Or, groans it, I guess, in his old man raspy voice. Now, okay, so that's the card. Let's look at his command card, the one that I'm talking about here. It is 1-pip, and now you will die. And Emperor Palpatine gets an order only, and it is, here we go, during Emperor Palpatine's activation, I'm reading really small text here, he may suffer 1 wound and gain 1 suppression token to perform an attack. He may do this any number of times. After Emperor Palpatine performs an attack, the defender gains 1 immobilized token. What? Bananas. Okay, so he's only got 5 health, right? So if we can find some ways to give him some extra health or pass some wounds off, that would be fantastic. I don't know if this will interact with Guardian. I don't think it will. I think he's going to take the wounds, because I think if we look at Guardian with the Royal Guards, for instance, range 1 and in line of sight, hang on. Yeah, it's defending against ranged attacks, right? So I don't think Guardian's going to work with this. So he's only going to perform it, 4 times until he's down to 1 wound. That's if he's starting at full health. But being able to do 4 attacks at range 1 to 2, each with Pierce 2 and 2 red dice, 2 black dice, and 2 white dice, even though you're pretty much killing off your commander at this stage, is so cool. It's handing out immobilized tokens. It's handing out suppression tokens times 2 because it's suppressive. That's insane. So pretty much Palpatine has been designed to be this bomb that you throw into the enemy forces and just goes nuts and just sends lightning flying everywhere into all kinds of units. So this will decimate trooper heavy units. Remember, his attack doesn't have impact, so you're not really going to want to use this against vehicles. But those trooper spams that we're seeing at the moment, Emperor Palpatine gets in the middle of 2 or 3 trooper units, and he'll just decimate them. He'll absolutely decimate them. He'll lock them down. He'll kill just miniatures all over the place, probably 3 or 4 with each attack. It's crazy. And if you use the 1 upgrade card that we can fully see that comes with his expansion, a force power called Anger, which is after you suffer 1 or more wounds, gain 1 aim token. So the coolest bit is that each time he's doing his crazy attack with his command card, he's gaining an aim token every single time. So that's 4 attacks with 4 aim tokens. Nuts. I think it's so much fun. Is it highly and super competitive when you're killing your 210 point unit? I don't know. Who cares? It's going to be awesome. That's my thoughts on that. Right, the model himself. Let's talk about that. So look, it's creepy old Emperor Palpatine, right? He's got his hood. He's got really long arms. That's weird. He's got his cane. The face looks okay. They've obviously gone really pale and creepy looking on that model, but I don't think he looks as derpy as some of the other Legion commanders we've seen. I think he looks pretty on par for what we expect from an Emperor. Let's have a look. Have we got any other goodies? I think there's a great picture of him just lightning people up. Yes, unleashes a flurry of force lightning. Wonderful. The other order. Here we go. So we've got his 1-pip. We've also seen in the preview article his 3-pip. It's an entire legion, and you may give an order token to each eligible. There we go. Eligible unit. The flavor text, your friends up there on the Sanctuary Moon are walking into a trap. I think that's pretty good, right? I think my Emperor voice is on point. Either way, his order, 3 pips, and you give an order token to just everybody. Just every single unit that is on the board and is able to get one. So that's sweet. If you've got a high activation army, we're talking like, what, 9, 10 orders? That's amazing. Getting a turn to do pretty much whatever you want is just awesome. Especially in kind of that turn 2 area where there's going to be a lot of toing and froing of moving units forward when you want them to move forward to get into range, stay out of range. I think this is an amazing card, and I can't wait to slap this down and just absolutely dominate turn 2 of the game and outplay the opponent. So well done, Palpatine. You got some serious command going on there, and that's pretty much it, right? So that's an awesome new leader for the Imperials. I think, is it what people wanted? Unsure. Did we need another really expensive Imperial commander? Possibly not. Is he better than Vader, who's people have doubted whether he's top of the meta. I think the Emperor is better than Vader. I think his command cards are sweet. That ability to use him as a bomb is fantastic. But that range one, that speed one, I should say, that movement of one is really going to hurt. Look, having the offensive and defensive surge above and beyond what Vader has is also fantastic too. So I think he'll definitely see play. You'll have to pretty much team him up with Veers or any other future cheap Imperial commanders we see, because you're going to kill him, right? You're going to kill him off with that 1-pip card. You just can't help yourself. You have to do it. It might be a smarter move to only use it a couple of times and blah, 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 but that's lame. That's super lame. So bomb him out, kill a bunch of troopers, have a bunch of fun. That is the Emperor Palpatine Commander expansion. Cannot wait. Next up, this is the one I'm super excited about because of the army it allows you to build. We have the Imperial Royal Guards unit expansion. Let's have a look at their card. So, they come in at, what's that, 75 points for 3 of them. This is the first time I think we've only seen 3 models in a unit. So that's what, 25 points each. They're pricey, but here's what they have. Their flavor text. First, their upgrades. They can take all kinds of upgrades. Just chuck everything on them, whatever you want. They have charge. After you perform a move action, you may perform a free melee attack action. Fantastic. Very good. That's definitely what we want to see on a melee-focused unit. They have Discipline 2. This is really nice. When you are issued an order, you may remove up to 2 suppression tokens. Great. They are not going to get bogged down with suppression, especially because they have a courage of 2. So that is awesome. You don't want your expensive unit just getting suppressed in the middle of the board. Guardian 2. I'm not sure I'm going to use this, but while a friendly trooper unit at range 1 and in line of sight is defending against a ranged attack, you may cancel up to 2 hit results. For each result cancelled, roll 1 of your defense dice and convert any surges, then suffer 1 wound for each blank result. So the idea is, I guess what they were thinking thematically, you'd run him with Emperor Palpatine, get your free order token, and also use Guardian for Palpatine. But the thing is, Palpatine has a defensive surge, right? And the Royal Guards do not. So I just don't know if I want to be taking those hits off the Emperor. I guess, look, the Emperor is more expensive than a Royal Guard, wound for wound, because each wound of the Emperor is worth, 42 points, I guess. Whereas each wound on a Royal Guard, let's see, is worth 12.5 points. So, yeah, okay. I'm probably going to take some wounds off the Emperor when I look at it statistically like that. But also lame. Boo. I like my Royal Guards more than the Emperor. So, they have a red defense dice. They have 2 wounds. 2 wounds, people. This is the first trooper unit we've seen with 2 wounds. And that is so cool. So, although you only have 3 models, you have 6 wounds. 75 points for 6 wounds. That actually sounds pretty fantastic. And it also means their offensive capability is going to stick around a little longer too. They have speed 2, which is excellent to see. Their close combat weapon, melee weapon if you will, is a force spike. 1 red dice, 1 black dice. They've got a range weapon still, which is awesome. And it's great. It's your holdout blaster, which is range 1 to 2, and 2 black dice. So the same weapon that we've seen from our speeder bikes. That's awesome. Even at range, if they can't quite get into melee, being able to do, 6 black dice at range 1 to 2, that's still really nice. Some of the upgrades we can see is the Electro Staff Guard. Did the article give us a nice close-up of that, or am I going to have to just really squint? I'm going to have to squint, aren't I? Damn it, FFG. All right, here we go. So the only kind of upgrade you can give to give an extra mini to the Imperial Royal Guards is your Electro Staff Guard. He has 2 black dice, so, dice-wise, his weapon isn't as good as your regular dude, but you add 1 mini, and while defending against a melee attack, you gain Immune Pierce. That's really nice. So essentially, you're going to want, if you're using these guys to hunt down Force Wielders, or does he have anything else? I think that's sidearm melee as well. I can't really read the text on that, but I'm not sure if that does anything else. Sure, whatever. It may be that he has to use it. Either way, so if you're coming up against Force users, fantastic. Use this, and Luke and Vader are not going to be cutting down your Royal Guards, which is thematically wonderful, and game-wise, fantastic. Gives it just to the whole unit, right? That's awesome. So, cool. Really cool. Some other things we've seen. Looks like they've got fragmentation grenades. Not sure. Looks like a... Is that a Wookiee on an Imperial upgrade card? Surely not. Either way, they've got some other cool looking stuff. It looks like, actually, Recon something or another, you gain, I'm seeing an S and a C. I'm guessing that's Scout. That's nice. Get them that little bit closer. So that's your Royal Guards, right? 75 points, 3 minis, but you can take 3 units of these because they're special forces, 4 if you've got Emperor Palpatine. And what it does, and here's why I'm really excited for the Royal Guard, besides them being red, right? Because my whole Imperial force is red, and these guys are just going to be more red, and the redness will just overwhelm my opponent, and they won't know what to do with themselves. But well, I'm really excited about these guys. The minis are awesome, but the army that it allows you to build is this kind of up in your face close combat army. All the armies we've seen from Legion so far, pretty much you get to range 3 of your opponent and you get behind some cover and you shoot at each other. There's some pew, 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 backwards and forwards. You're capturing objectives. Great. All right. Very tactical, very strategic. That's fun. Whatever. These guys, right? Here's the army I'm picturing. You get 2 to 3 Imperial Royal Guards, right? You get 4+ stormtroopers, snowtroopers, I should say, squads, all with flamethrowers, and you just run them up the board. You just march right on up and get bang in your opponent's face. Trooper spam is going to just hurt so hard. You're gonna have to keep you guys moving. So having some abilities to get rid of suppression, noting that the Royal Guard obviously have discipline 2, which is great. They're gonna keep moving. It's gonna be sweet. I cannot wait just to destroy some rebel armies by getting within range one of them and charging into them all over the board. And I think it's going to be good for the objective game too, right? Because often in games, you're fighting over those middle objectives. You're holding your back one, they're holding their back one, whatever. In this case, you're going to be able to get right up in their face and really threaten their own objectives with units that excel at being in that location on the battlefield, while theirs are throwing back, that one black dice and just being sad about the whole thing as you charge in. So super excited about Imperial Royal Guard. I think these are 2 wonderful expansions for Legion. The Emperor, does he bring something new to the game? Maybe not so much. It's not meta defining. It doesn't change up your army, but he's a lot of fun. Really cool stuff going on. A lot of awesome interactions with pulling the strings, and that 1-pip command card with your 4 attack bomb is just so much fun. The Royal Guards, however, really change up your army, and I think they offer just a sweet unit to make games just a lot more interesting, right? To really round out the mechanics of Legion. In the Legion Outrider podcast recently, they had the developers Alex Davey and Luke Eddy on, and they were talking about how we won't really see all of the mechanics that they really wanted to bring out for Legion until kind of the end of Wave 3. And this is the perfect example of that, is that melee is really obviously meant to be a big part of the game, and Royal Guard epitomize it and will get you to really take advantage of it. So that's it. That's our 2 new expansions. Can't wait to see them. Do we have a release date for them? 4th quarter of 2018. That's not even that far away, people. Look, within 4 months, we will... 4 months? Yeah, sure. It's the end of July, right? Within 4 months, we will see our Emperor and our Royal Guard. Very excited. Thank you very much for listening. Hopefully you've learned something. And until next time, may the Force be with you. This video was sponsored by Gatekeeper Games, your key to gaming unplugged, a tabletop store offering a friendly atmosphere for people to buy and play their games in the north of Fitzroy.